we got here? Love to see that. Oof, what a lovely 7 o'clock start. Straight into a hard rejection. AIIO did something similar. Up to right before 7. Hard rejection back down. This one's a bit too cheap. Yeah, I gotta wake up. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a curl here. Okay, so this spike was on similar volume to this one. Slightly higher volume. Ooh. I mean, I didn't even notice the daily on this thing. Wow, okay, so this was just a hard rug pull. Yeah, when was this? 1021. Oh, therapeutics. Yeah, failed to meet. Okay. So this thing ended up rugging super hard. Lost like 75%. Now we're just getting a random pump here. Okay, so this is the only stock on watch. There's no news on it currently, so this is more of a pump after this dump. Move back to 6 is interesting. The lack of news, plus nothing else really moving. A bit of a red flag to me, though. Got SCNX here. It's getting some volume. It's not super noticeable though. Yeah, no news immediately either. WGRX is moving, but again, it's too cheap, so I'm not interested. NEUP is probably something I would just end up sitting and watching for now. Very high number of shares. But not only that, just... Oh no, we did have news come out at 7:05. Okay, now this came out on Thursday. Kind of weird that it's getting reported right now. And this is 5 minutes. Yeah, kind of weird to see this spike before this news. This thing just looks like it's kind of dying. Could have been okay to buy there. This volume wasn't actually that crazy. I don't know. I think I'm just going to be patient, though. It doesn't look exceptional to me at the moment. TOVX is also moving, but this one's also too cheap. This was quite an impressive move that it had yesterday evening, going from $3 up to 40s. Very impressive. I mean, it's given back quite a lot of the move, but it's still up several 100%. Yeah, it's up almost 275%. It was mostly flat until recently. What was the news on this? Not really any clear news from yesterday. Wait, was this morning? Wow, that was... Okay, so this was this morning. This wasn't the evening. So like 5:40 this morning, this popped up. It was just a strategic partner. Okay. Not really what I would have expected would make, like, a 1000% move, but okay. What is the float? Got 18 million here, 19. It's about 18 million. The volume has mostly dried up, but it is a bit more expensive, so this volume has more weight to it. I don't know, though. It feels like it's already... I mean, relative to this feels much less impressive. I'll definitely keep it on watch, though. This is worth watching, even if just for market context. QLGN is also up 71%. So as far as just raw gappers go, we're seeing some interesting moves. But yeah, just this morning so far, AIIO just ended up failing in NEUP. This one also kind of failed. I mean, it could still definitely recover here. Like, this is like the last opportunity for it to recover, really. Good morning. It's looking like a slow start today again. The only thing I really have hoping right now is that our two leading gappers are much higher than yesterday. This one is getting some volume coming into it. 50,000 is significant on a stock this price. I'm a bit afraid to touch it, though. Oh, do you not normally get on at 7? You go like 7:30 or something? I mean, this one could, like... If we saw volume continue to come into this thing and we see a break of 14, like, there is a real chance this could go to, like, 20, 25. A bit concerning, though, that nothing that's popping is held up, though. Looking like it's just going to be another one of those days. Maybe it'll change, though. We'll have to see what comes out. Oof. Okay, so a drop from 13, 15 to 12 on like 20,000 volume. Yeah, this feels very whiplashy. If I do end up trading this, it's probably going to be a 1/4 size. But I want to see more before I get involved with it. Needs more volume and it needs to be testing 14. Yeah, no, this was an insane move. Definitely. Right, from $8 to almost 45 in 1 minute. Very strange. I mean, on the yearly chart, this doesn't make any sense. What's it look like on 3-year? Yeah, even 3-year. This is unheard of. Okay, yeah, NEUP is recovering. You're right. Whoa, whoa, that's some crazy volume that inflowed. Way higher than this. Okay, that doesn't look bad. I took a starter there at 554. Really struggling at 570. And this might make another pullback down. Each time it's going down, though, we had two spikes where it went back up. I was wanting to add, but I couldn't find a good entry to do that. I'm probably just going to hold the half size. Okay, seeing a bit of a push now. I sold half. I'd like to see it push 6 or 610. It's tapped like 180s twice. We had 3 bottoming tails where this thing was immediately bought up. That's the main reason I'm still holding half. I would have taken it all off the top there. Okay. Okay, so 3 taps on 580. I'm cutting it. If it runs without me, it runs without me. I gave it time, and it's tapped at 583 times here. I need to open this up. Forgot to open up my thing first. I can just replace this with today. I can go over that trade I just took and explain that a bit, because that was a strategy one, because that was a front side of the move type of play. Let me just log it here real quick. So it's still struggling around the 570s. I don't regret cutting, in hindsight, but yeah, let me finish logging this. So 69. Should be 576. No. Yeah, 576. So, yeah, this ended up touching 4 times. Definitely don't regret selling. I think I made a great choice in hindsight here. But yeah, let me go over this. So, we were seeing this pullback. What immediately made me want to get in for a long was this massive candle relative to this move, right? This volume's way higher than this volume. So we saw this pullback. These candles were much lower than the initial spike. And I noticed 3 times when we were popping down, we were seeing it immediately get bought up. So I got in. I sold half at this first break at 80s, 580s. And I wanted to see us go to 6 or 610. But we ended up touching here 3 times at 580. And I thought that was too bearish. So I ended up cutting it. We did end up getting a pullback. So this would have ended up being like roughly a break-even trade. And we can see it's retested. That's crazy, though. We've had basically almost 6 taps at the 580 level. So if this breaks 580, we might see another leg up. But as far as targets go, I look at what my risk is, and then I'll try to set the first profit target at whatever my risk is. So if I'm risking 20 cents, then I want to try and hit 20 cents, right? So I bought at 554. And considering I was willing to hold for like 20, 25 cents, you can see my first profit target was 580s, which is about equal. It's going to always be a little off, but I try to do 1-to-1. Then if I believe in it, then I'll sell half and I'll hold the other half. And if I don't believe in it, then I'll just sell it all. I actually had real faith this thing was going to break 6. That's why I was holding a little longer. But the triple tap made me lose that conviction. If that makes sense. I'm really surprised how much this is like consolidating and tapping this level. I'm not going to buy, but I'm very interested in what it does if it breaks this. Okay, so we did see a run to 610. Would have been a nice winner if I held, but holding this long in a cold market, not a good idea, I think. I'm mostly just spectator on this now. I'm not really interested in getting in here. This price action's a bit too off-putting for me. Very strange. I feel like this should have either ran or reversed or done something. The fact that it's kind of like just doing this slow grind. I mean, I guess there's a lot of shares, right? So that kind of explains it. There could just be a lot of people walling up, and this could end up just being like a slow, sluggish climb. The only reason this spike ended up happening was because there was 500,000 in this minute. It's probably all at once, too. I mean, I'm definitely bullish on it. The fact that it didn't run for this long feels very strange to me. It's a pretty clean pullback to buy. I was on very low volume. What was that, 590 probably? The volume on this is quite light. Doesn't look terrible. Just coming back to this 580 level. Yeah, this stock isn't acting the way I normally expect a stock to act. It should have immediately bounced here or broke this level. It keeps on tapping this level. Strange. Alright, we're almost at the half hour. We'll see if anything else comes up. If not, I might just end up continuing to watch this. This is the only real action that I've been seeing. It's like this pullback was pretty light volume. Saw it break to 573, which was below this top. Could be a bear trap. I mean, I'm still bullish on it. This volume is relatively light. I'm gonna get in there. Half size again. Wow. I'm really surprised it's pushing down this hard. This volume wasn't that intense. Could have just been wrong on it, though. The first half of this was very light volume. The second half is probably where 70% of the volume went in. So we had light volume on this pullback, light volume on the first half of this, heavier volume on the second half. I'm debating if I add here or not. I'll add with that. We'll see. Could be like a $20 or $30 loser if it doesn't work. We're at the half hour, so other stocks might start popping up here. Really want to try and see a new 1 minute high. So we were seeing it get bought here and here as well. This volume has been much lower on the pullback. I'm still bullish on this. Hmm. Interestingly, there's nothing else really on the scanners right now. How does this thing just completely go sideways after this? I think I gotta get out. I tried to give it time for a curl here. This volume was light. I really thought this was gonna bounce. The fact that it didn't immediately, maybe I can attribute that to the higher float. It could just be there's a lot of people now that are starting to get involved and it's slowing it down. I did get out a little prematurely, though. I said I was going to hold this for 10 or 20 to 30 cents. $20 to $30, but I ended up bailing early. This just feels unclear to me. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why it's stagnated all of a sudden. Buy it. Yeah, good call. Yeah, this one's not on my scanners yet. No immediate news. Yeah, this is a very high float. Yeah, we're just not really getting a lot of good options here. Either the float's really high or they're just not great moves. And EUP did end up breaking down more. Yeah, definitely don't regret getting out. The problem too with holding through consolidation like this is a spike down becomes a lot more justified. This was kind of what I was afraid could happen if I kept holding. Yeah, very surprising that this kind of just rolled over after this kind of price action. It's just almost relentless, right? 620 all the way down to 530. There wasn't any real bounce. Yeah, nothing else really on the scanner. WGRX keeps hitting, but it's way too cheap. Right? It's not even $1. Yeah, like Viat's high float. NEUP is a high float. These aren't really the stocks that resolve well. I mean, this one acted kind of weird at first because it was moving, but then it started moving down on low volume, which is uncommon. But I usually only see that on stocks with higher floats. Right, that's my guess what happened. I'm guessing someone came in around this point and just started systematically selling, even though the volume was low, because there wasn't really a lot of demand. They were just able to stair-step it down. It's my guess. I mean, there's any number of things that it could have been. It's kind of the same thing. I don't even know if I want to get involved with this one now because of that. GNTA is just kind of bleeding. Well, not even really bleeding. It's more like a major consolidation, a major wedge. Right, I mean, it's still up 250%. So, like, for all intents, like, this thing is still holding up pretty well. Still up over 250% after several hours. At this point, we're probably just looking for the top of the hour to see what news comes out. My God, it is so incredibly dry today. It's just... We're just really in that cold stretch. Yeah, I don't even know really. I mean, this was an impressive move, but we're talking about a stock that is 50 million to 100 million shares outstanding. This thing's currently up not even 20%. This is what I'm looking at. Not impressive. We got 14 minutes till the top of the hour. I feel like at least NEUP is more interesting to watch. I feel like I don't want to touch this one anymore. Not without major volume. And we see a move up. AIIO. This one has just completely died at this point. WGRX, this one is like kind of, is this at least, if it's a low float, I could consider it. Zero doesn't tell me anything. Okay, and Thinkorswim is saying it's 91 million. So this one probably does heavy dilution. Makes sense given the daily. Okay, no news, so this is probably just a short squeeze. I mean, it's a pretty impressive pop though, right? From $1 to 114, 112. But again, the float's just so high on this thing. I think I just need to be patient, like step back here, because like when I'm starting to look at penny stocks, like maybe that's the best we have. Maybe that I think I just need to wait till 8. I shouldn't be looking for these kind of trades. I'm like degrading my quality. So this did end up breaking through. Ten minutes till the top of the hour. Another way to look at this too, right? So like with NEUP, this is the only real bullish stock we had. Right, there was very low volume. We had this random massive spike. And it looked bullish because these bottoms were getting bought up. But it kept tapping this 580 over and over. Then when we finally did break, there was probably a lot of people that were starting to get in here for this move. And then to just get hit with this, considering this was the only really bullish looking stock that people were probably actively trading around 7. Right now, we're just still in a market where anyone trading aggressively is struggling. And even this, like, I was watching this. I gave up on this stock because when I saw this rejection with the increased volume, I just thought this was done. So I actually stopped watching it and didn't see any of this. Yeah, just nothing clear right now. Just in general. No, yeah, it's... And you can see me catching myself too, right? Like I was going to... This is what you really got to avoid doing, because like I was trying to talk myself into trying to get in this trade. That's what you got to be careful of when it's slow like this. Right? I've taken 2 trades, down $6. I don't really care that I'm down, but you got to take high quality setups in this kind of cold market. Even if something's like an okay setup in a cold market like this, it's not. I don't think it's worth it. It's better just to wait. The fact that we're having these... We've had like 4 stocks move. 3 of them failed immediately. The 4th one's acting weird. I was really hopeful too, seeing GNTA, that spike where it went up like 1,000%. I was really hopeful too. Thought maybe we might actually get an interesting Friday. Not looking that way right now. How the heck do I have 10 viewers? You guys really just love watching the blank screens like I do, huh? Just waiting and watching, hoping something comes on the scanners. Hopefully at 8 o'clock we'll see something come up. Right, we got another 5 minutes. I appreciate you all that are here watching. Wish I could trade more to like actually give something interesting, but it is what it is. It could just be, like you said, Aves, it could just be because it's Friday. A cold market plus a Friday. Just might be what it is. Viet is kind of moving. At least look at it. What was this move? 330 to 360. Right, so there was a 5-minute high that ended up resolving nicely. The volume was incredibly dry leading up to this, though. Oof. Jeez, what a sweep. On very high volume, too. Yeah, that ruined any opportunity of me touching it. Not that I was thinking about it anyway. Yeah, I noticed, I've noticed the last week, we've seen like a big split among movers, right? Because historically this year, we've seen movers be more often during pre-market and a couple during market hours. But I noticed the last week, we've had a lot of stocks that were moving during after hours and the market session, right? It feels like it's a even split between pre-market, market hour, and after hours. And that's not really common. So it could just be the case that pre-market isn't as effective right now. I know it's a small sample size, and that's just my observation. I didn't really double check to make sure that's the case. But it feels like a lot of moves are still happening, but we're just not being a part of them. And they're also very short-lived, like GNTA, right? Like this happens super, super early pre-market. Then you got QLGN, where the big move happened yesterday, and then really early pre-market. The moves aren't really happening their normal 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. times. At least not last week, this week. Or, sorry, this week at least. It hasn't. But yeah, we're at the top of the hour. We'll see if anything actually comes up. I'll just keep an eye on the scanners. Silly. Okay, that's not moving. All right, we got two that popped up immediately here. NRXS and GNLN. Okay. They both have news. Private placement for this one. First FDA clearance for treatment. This one looks like a topping tail candle at the moment. This one looks like it's holding up pretty good, at least compared to the other one. This makes another breakdown on this volume. I could consider half size. And our excess is still holding up really nicely. That isn't quite what I was looking for. Very nice volume on this pop. That helps invalidate this red candle because the volume was so much higher. It's just the stock on watch now. There's nothing else I see. Ooh, wait, no. I need to get out. So I jumped in there, immediately saw there was a big 40,000 share seller there. Okay. What a rejection. The volume wasn't terrible on this initial breakdown, but the moment I got in, I saw immediately on the level 2 there was a massive seller. I don't know if that seller was there when I got in. I didn't see it at the time. Hmm. So the two stocks that came out at 8, this one had a first 1 minute high that could have worked out. And then it had a rug pull. And the other one kind of rejected hard immediately. Hello, Hope and Flight. Good morning to you. I'm just kind of struggling this morning. Mm. This is kind of an impressive curl. The volume's a bit low. Very interesting, though, how we had like this descending volume on this. I feel like I'm a little less trustworthy at the moment right now. Hasn't been a lot of moves, and I've just seen 2 rug pulls today so far. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this earlier. The fact that it's a cold market and it's Friday probably isn't helping our case much. It's still good to be here just to see if things are heating up or not, I guess. But yeah, it's looking like we're still in that cold stretch, at least at the moment. You start getting this weird kind of price action too, right? Where it's curling up, but it's on light volume. Then you see another leg back down, 408 to 360, 367. I don't really like trying to buy these two, because seeing this artificial looking price action makes me not trust it. NRXS. After that initial knife, it's kind of holding here. I don't know if I trust it to hold, though. Oof. Jesus. I don't think I buy here just because this is such a high volume candle. Dang. Two highest candles are red and they have the highest volume. Hmm. Once 8:30 comes, if after the first 5 minutes I don't see anything in play, I might call it early. Ooh, you're right about GNTA though. Yeah, that's volume isn't crazy, but significant. $2 move in 3 minutes. Tapped 13 3 times. And EUP did finally break out from its consolidation. But not on super high volume. That's a very interesting how it just kind of like kept stair-stepping back up. And the UP is getting some good volume coming through with it. The volume has picked up, at least on this last minute candle. Quite an interesting breakdown. Throw an order out there that actually was to break down here. Looks like it's not really overreacting. Thought I'd throw it out there. I'm gonna, whenever I finish this stream, I'm actually gonna review this trade. Because like I said, when I got in here, I immediately saw the large seller and just shift out to close the position. I'm wondering if that order was here when I got in or not. If I missed that, or if it popped up after I got in. Because that could be insightful to see if I was getting in a little too quickly. I mean, when you see something coming down, you sometimes have to make a gut reaction. But I'm curious about it. The UP is continuing up. Very nice move. Surprisingly good move. Good volume coming into it too. Kind of annoyed this thing screwed me over earlier. But I mean, if we're getting good volume, $400,000. There's no new news on it, so there's nothing driving this immediately. And immediately retests the previous high. Hmm. 750,000. This is definitely active now. Tried breaking that for a squeeze higher. That's one where you gotta cut it quick if it doesn't work. Extremely high volume. It's a seller here. This is the kind of volume I want to see, though. I'll take another starter. If it approaches 40, I might add. Can we break 40? Seeing a lot of topping tail wicks on this. But at the same time, the push downs have been on lower volume. Sold half. Just taking some risk off here. had back there. This thing has been breaking down on low volume, but it's just not working out from what I was expecting. Most of this leg down was on low volume. It was the bottom part that was heavier. Again, you see like how there's low volume on this initial leg down. I guess maybe one red flag could have been this topping tail being a red, highest red candle. I'm just so shocked it pushed down on this light of volume. Alright, cut half of it again. I should just cut this. This isn't working out. Now, my thesis was clearly wrong here. I was really hoping for a 1 minute high breakout. Brutal. $40 in the red. Lovely Friday. This stock did the same thing earlier, right? Whenever I was trading it here, I thought this volume was suspiciously low. And I gave it like several minutes. But it was lower than normal volume on the sell-off, and we had something similar happen here where the volume seemed to get much lower, especially even this, than I was expecting. Maybe it's just the float. Maybe that was just a mistake by me, trading this way with this kind of float. Yeah, I'm just... Getting out's definitely the right call, but it just... Sometimes when you're really wrong, it's hard to get out. Just like mentally. The logs of shame. To log all of these decisions. Is that close to accurate? $1 off, it's close enough. Yeah, CLPS. This one's a 30 million. This one's also a bit higher float. a lower float. Or, sorry, it's a lower price stock, higher float. Don't really like it that much. NEUP keeps retesting 6. Yeah, this stock has screwed me over so much, though. Part of me just doesn't want to touch it anymore. This has just been constant selling pressure. On slightly elevated volume. Yeah, the bulls are just getting destroyed. Across everything, it feels like. Yeah, after this first pop, this thing just ended up fading back. Oh. I don't really... I'm just thinking about this second trade I took. This was a more aggressive one by me. Considering the volume was so incredibly high, I thought this could have been the opportunity. Right? This could have been a signal, and we could have seen a surprise move. It's part of why I wanted to be so aggressive with it. I mean, we already had this part, right? You see it consolidate and then do another leg. This could be a pretty huge win. But of course, the risk is if you try to do that in a cold market, the odds it resolves are lower. CLPS gave back the whole move too. It feels, I mean, I have my watch list from all the stocks I've been looking at. Like, just all of them seem like they've just kind of faded. Not really seeing anything great hold up other than GNTA. Riot's kind of moving, but some more expensive stock. Volume's still somewhat low. TOVX is also moving, but it's too cheap. Only 46 cents. I'm not interested. What was my results today? It was just the first trade. That's the only one I hit a base hit on. Everything else was red. A lot of it was from NEUP. Yeah, I basically just traded NEUP and one on NRXS. So this one I got stuck in a rug. And this was me trying to catch some kind of bounce on this move. And we didn't end up seeing that bounce. I got one other stock coming up here. What's this? It's not a bad news catalyst. I'm just gonna get in there. I really like the news catalyst for this, and this pullback is on lower volume. This feels like a really good setup. It's really struggling at 5. Not a bad base hit. 17 bucks is really solid. I was wondering if I should have sold half, because I felt really strong about this setup. I think I'm just, like, mentally compromised a bit. That should have probably been a sell half. This news catalyst was really strong. Yeah, I think I'm losing the plot a little bit. Honestly, we're like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from me calling it anyway. I feel like I should have sold half there. I think I should just call this as a sign to walk here. I mean, only down 23. No, that was a solid hit. Right, this is just a really strong catalyst. The potential of a buyout at $13. Wow, it's at $5. And then we see this pullback on lighter volume than the initial pop. Like, that just seems very bullish. Honestly, and I even knew it. The moment I got in the trade, I felt like it was an A-quality setup. Maybe I should have pushed... I should have maybe punched it. It's so hard to say, though, because it's been so cold all day for the market. And even though this felt like a really strong setup, part of me was just worried, you know? Plus, I didn't really have a cushion on the day. I was down $40. It's so hard to have the conviction to punch harder when you're either down or it's really cold. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I feel like that trade, the execution at the very end was a bit sloppier. It should have been a half-size sell, because that was what I was internally feeling. But yeah, I mean, 23 down, that's reasonable. I was down unrealized about 50 to 60 at one point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think a little bit about today, because today was honestly horrible. Almost, I mean, I'll go over some of the stocks I have still on the scanner. Like, look at this. GNLN completely died. And RXS traded this one. This one died. NEUP. This one's actually holding up, but shook me out twice. No, yeah, I'm done. This one does look very strong, but I feel like I'm compromised, so I'm not going to touch it. This does look very strong, though. I would definitely be watching this still. GNTA. This one is... I still think this is holding up pretty well, right? It's still up over 200%, so this feels like it's still holding up pretty well. We had like 4 or 5 sub $1 stocks moving. But yeah, overall, it just feels like today was... The first hour was really slow, and stocks that had been popping up have just been dying. The majority of them. We had 2 rug pulls. Had a rug pull on NRXS, and we had a rug pull on NEUP. So... not the greatest environment. Oh man, that's terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna head out here. Thank you everyone for watching pretty... I don't even want to say uneventful, because the second half of the stream was actually a little bit interesting. But hopefully next week we'll see a bit more momentum. I'll go ahead and make the recap here in a bit, and I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good one.